Thanks to our musicians. I couldn't have a better introduction to the workshop. We'll start a little bit on the chair, talk a little bit, I try to keep that short, and then a little exercise on the chair just to experience what I'm trying to talk about, and then we'll lie down. And then Narad will come for the Om choir. Actually, it's a wonderful thing to do before singing practice. Okay. So the body, I would think the body is usually an instrument to get a result. So I come from the Tai Chi Chuan, which is the internal Tai Chi Chuan, which is a practice, also sitting practice and lying down. It's techniques of prana and all these things. And you can, in the first stage, there's a long stage of you use your body to get a result. And I think for most practices from the past, this is the case. The body is usually a vessel to be left behind finally. Or the body is meant to become invincible in battle, or the body is an object for the sciences, the medical science. Body is an object. And we slowly, because of, I think, what we also trying to talk about is that slowly we are alienated from our body. I would think as a child you are engaged fully with the body, and there's an openness also in that action. That action of learning is done with enthusiasm in the body. And slowly but surely the body is left behind, and we are alienated from it. And the next thing I want to talk about is how in your brain, the brain forgets to relax muscular tension. Very simple, because of obvious reasons, fear, emotions, accidents, surgery, doubts, food, thoughts, anything goes into the body, and there's a moment when the brain forgets to relax muscles, patterns of muscles. And when it forgets to relax these muscles, you don't feel that anymore. So your body awareness adjusts to this fact. So I had a surgery here, and an illness, surgery, and for the body that is like war. It's like a sword. A sword goes in, and then you're patched up, and that's it. Yeah? But the body will remember this trauma, and it will shrink. Yeah? I exaggerate to show you the posture. It'll be like this. Now, if I'm to grow up with this tension, you can imagine it influences my whole way of being with the outer world. It influences the way I react to things or become reactive to things. If a person has a stiff neck, and believe me, we all do, we do tend to get more irritated, or it influences us, right? So the brain forgets to relax muscles. I don't feel this tension. I can feel other tensions, headaches, pains. Usually they are compensating pains for the deeper tensions. So after the surgery, Hans, please stand straight with eyes closed. I'll be like this. And you will tell me, but you're not standing straight. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I did this with a wonderful ballerina in Amsterdam, beautiful lady, tall, 20 years in the practice, totally that culture, it was wonderful. And I did this with her in the beginning of our session, and she was standing backwards, like most ballerinas, they're all standing like this. Yeah? And I told her, you're not standing straight. And she said, yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I know my body. I've been working with my body for 20 years. So it was rather difficult to... anyway, I'd had to work with her to make her feel the difference. So if I Anything I do with these tensions. I exaggerate, right? My surgery was here, there's a compensating here. And anything I do, I will do with these tensions. Any stretch, if I stretch out this arm, these tensions will resist my effort. This is why most people practicing Hatha Yoga end up in pain, or dancers end up in pain, or people doing nothing end up with pain. Because the body stiffens up and you don't feel those stiffnesses anymore. You think you're relaxed, but you're not. Which brings me to this other aspect I wanted to talk about, that if I don't feel these tensions, I cannot go there with my consciousness. I think I'm there, but I'm not. I think I can feel it, but I don't feel it. So going from body as an instrument to the body as a vessel for the higher future, the mind to develop, there's a problem there, the inner and outer. There's a problem, and that are these physical tensions. I cannot relax them. I don't know I'm holding them. So even if I try to relax, I think I'm relaxing, but I'm not. So this obviously would create a barrier between inner and outer. This obviously would create a barrier to that. So that's why body work is not only important for my health, which is already a small age. He's not here today, but he was discussing me, what do you mean by health? I said, I mean health with a small age and a big age. It starts on a very physical level also, that if I keep my body in attention, it will influence the way I breathe, the way I react, the way I play music. I like to see it as an instrument that I'm tuning so that I can play music. That music could be anything. So these tensions are kind of like a barrier also between inner and outer for me, for that higher consciousness to enter the body. So that's why we need to tune not only the mind but also the body. And this can be done only, sorry, that's my conclusion up to now, only with softness and comfort. As soon as I make an effort, my brain uses the muscles with these tensions that are sensory motor amnesia, it's called. I've forgotten to relax this because of my surgery or accident or whatever. And now I'm doing my stretch. I think I'm relaxed, but it's resisting my effort equally. And the body goes on like this for 10, 20 years, and then it starts to... It cannot compensate anymore, and it starts to break down. So that's my message to Hatha Yoga, even though I respect it a lot. I had a lot of experiences with Hatha Yoga. But the pedagogy has not been developed at all. The pedagogy for modern man coming to a Hatha Yoga class is terrible. We don't feel our bodies, we're impatient, we don't know how to focus, and we come to these postures. Yeah? And unless the teacher is kind and realizes this is going to take time, don't do that yet. First, learn to feel slowly. Yeah, up, here I go. Yeah, and it's feeling good and it's feeling great, and then stop the practice. Yeah, so that's the story. I would like you to feel how this works, because this has been developed the last 50 years only. I believe in the past they must have done it also. But you know, normally in these pedagogies, you grow up in them, right? In the arts or in Hatha Yoga, you go in there as a little child, and you have many old people around you who tell you to sweep the floor and not start that yet. And first you need to develop other faculties before you even go into asanas. And here we are going to the Hatha Yoga class. Please go into, and they have all the wonderful Sanskrit names. And I'm quite critical towards Hatha Yoga. It's gymnastics with an Om chanted around it, and that's fine. Of course, there's a deeper level to the art, but So it's the same for any practice, also music. If a musician studies at the school, they will study usually till it bleeds. Yeah, the fingers, the drummers, they have to for many hours. Yeah? They sweat and until they learn after a few years. Yeah? Now I'm proposing if they learn to tune their own instrument, yeah, if things are relaxed, you can learn these techniques much quicker. Yeah, same with it. So I tune my instrument, and if I wish to learn to play guitar, I can learn this much quicker. Because my instrument, you know, if you have a flamenco class, yeah, and Jane, dainty Jane, very soft lady, is going to dance with John the carpenter, yeah. John the carpenter takes the hand, rigid hand, yeah. What is the pedagogy of flamenco going to teach both of them? Nothing. They will try to dance, they will get some music, they'll have fun, that's no doubt. But it's not going to help John get closer because his hands are stuck. He cannot relax his hand. If John the carpenter is going to learn to play guitar like this, yeah, I mean, better teach him to relax, to release these patterns, and then play. So how do we do that? Like this. A slow contraction. Consciously bring your awareness into it, stay comfortable, and very slowly release. See, that's it. If I do that comfortably, consciously, a few times, brain will release these tensions and I will feel suddenly the fullness in the body that I did not feel before. Okay, shall we try it? So you just sit as you like, in the back of the chair, or as you like, and you choose a shoulder. You choose a shoulder. This is just to make a point. You'll go like this. I'll take my left shoulder. The head will, have a look. The head will turn a little bit. And I'll bring it up together with the shoulder till the jaw and the shoulder are coming together. Hold it for a second or two and very slowly come back. Okay? So not turn too much. Just a little coming up. Get that area that's always tensed, no? The brain forgets to relax muscles and thus we get discomfort and pain. Much more than that, by the way. There's much more related to that. So shall we try? Choose a shoulder and close your eyes. And turn the head to that direction, lift up the shoulder, the head goes back a little bit. Hold it. Hold it a few seconds and slowly release. A few times. Fully come back. Go slowly, comfortably into the contraction. Lift the shoulder. The head goes back a little bit. And very slowly, consciously release. Two or three more, just like that, smoothly coming back fully. Very slowly, patiently, consciously, as much as we can. Bring the awareness, what you're doing. It's body work, so let it be body work, not do something else. One more time. Slowly come back. Now feel your shoulder. something's happening. There are sensations, the body awareness is different, but it's also characterized by well-being. There's a space that we didn't feel before. You feel a difference or not? It's not clear? Yeah, you feel a difference? Yeah. So there you
Something
go.
must have changed to my energy. I feel this
Yeah.
piercing pain in here.
Yeah. It's like a house, no? All your life bricks, certain bricks were like this, and then suddenly you whoop, and then everything starts to. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like my shoulder is 2 centimeters lower, or it's not even there right now. I feel like soft. So before, I felt it like that. Now I feel it like this. This is a new possibility. And this is characterized by widening, calm, widening. Instead of the inevitable breakdown, like with joggers or anything, we will slowly get more and more agile. I don't like the word flexible. Agile. Agility means I bring my body back to a harmony like a child's, and it will be able to adapt to anything. And then, of course, there's also, because we are in the integral paradigm, there is also the matter of aspiring, being a vessel to be able to hold that. But this can only be approached by your personal practice in other things. So the body work remains the same, but the depth and the meaning depends on your personal psychological process. Because I cannot tell you what it means, that the body has its own consciousness, that the body is a vessel for evolution. I cannot tell you, I don't know. Maybe there are only a few people who really, and they will probably not talk about it. It's so far away. But for me, the whole approach changes. From my practice now, when I practice on my own, I don't practice anymore to get a result, to get something with it. You know, in the beginning, you always want to look good, you want to change this, you want to do that, even my health, I want to be healthier. Now it has become a completely different perspective, that's all. And with that, it's enough. So we learn here, through these kind of movements, not to be competitive, not to want to reach a goal, not to do it for something, to manipulate, or to not to be beautiful, even though that's a great thing. A graceful body has always got respect, a graceful movement, and it's also a part of, again, the story of my body becoming part of things again. It's not alienated from everything else. But that's a bit of a mystery that everybody will have to experience themselves. I can give a PowerPoint and tell you it's like this, no. It's not like that with the body. With the body, we'll have to do something. Shall we continue? I was hoping we go on the mat a little bit. We'll just take a cushion for your head, and we'll move to the mats. Take a mat for your head, and I will take this mat here. I will take this one. I'd just like to show you the movement. We're just going to keep it super simple, right? And actually it's something you can take home immediately with you. It's like brushing your teeth. We need to tune our instrument, right? And like brushing the teeth in the beginning, you have to be kind of told to stop as a child. I know my kid. So stop, don't brush it. And now he looks at me and he starts going himself, and no. And then every day is a little better. And looking at me, play, no. And then slowly he gets it, and then he wants it, yeah? It's the same with this. So in between you and the coffee machine, or in between you and your emails, there is a mat, and you can just lie there for 5 minutes, or the chair, because this kind of work takes only 5 or 10, 15 minutes. It can take longer if you like. For that effect in the brain, to release the tensions, you need only comfortable movement and slow, gentle contraction, conscious, slow release. So there are a whole bunch of movements you can learn. I'm not a therapist. I don't really work on particular pains or issues. I do, but that's not my thing. I prefer somebody to become independent, understand how it works, and take care of yourself. And when I teach, I also move. That's my Tai Chi background. I do while I teach. I am not here to look at you or even correct you. I will look around if there are bad mistakes. I say something, but generally, there's no intervention. I'll just show you. So in today's computer age, right, we'll have this posture, no? Yeah. Or the iPad is even worse. Yeah? Every time it's there. So we can do something for that. But that's the superficial, wonderful effect. Even on that level, it's enough to learn to relax, and it's already a great thing. So why look for more reasons than that, really? So it's going to go like this. I'll show you. I'm going to lift up the right arm, and here I cannot go further unless I let the head come along. Yeah, like this. You see? It goes a little bit at an angle, right? And back. So it's not this. It's not this. Yeah. It's first the arm. Cannot go further. The head will go a little bit in a slant. Again, that spot that we just did. And slowly release. Okay, that's one movement. The other movement will be the hip. I'll lift up my left hip. I'm not here to tense, to stretch, to strain. I'm just here, comfortable feedback. The knees don't move. I'm not here to perform. That's for another thing. And then you do both together. Shoulder, hip, and head. It's like body yawning, you know? Like a yawn. This yawning thing is the best. It's how animals reprogram their nervous system. If they don't do that, they won't survive. Yeah? That's why every time they get up, it's not a stretch. It's a yawning contraction, which refreshes the brain. And they get rid of that little stickiness there. Yeah. Okay, but we elaborate that a bit more. So lie down, and without the cushion.